how different is it planning a same-sex wedding to planning a bride and groom wedding? Let's dive into it. Hello lovely couples and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren, a wedding planner and owner of Bluebird Creative. I provide a weekly dose of wedding planning goodness for the modern couple. So if you haven't already, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to follow us over on Instagram. I think it's over here at Bluebird_creative, where I provide lots more tips, loads of behind the scenes on stories, and I'm showcasing our real weddings in posts and in reels, and it's lots of fun, so please come and join me over there. So guys, this week's video is about the differences between same-sex weddings as opposed to a bride and groom wedding. This is a question that's come up in my Facebook group a few times, and so I wanted to address it and help anybody that feels like they are struggling. So let's dive into it. Okay guys, so in my opinion, we have wedding traditions, okay, that are very, very old school. All wedding traditions are basically really old school, and so they are very heterotypical, which means it's all about giving the bride away. You know, the bride is property, she's going to the groom, all of these things. Bride's family sit on one side, groom's family sit on the other side, blah, blah, blah. Bride throws the bouquet to the next load of bridesmaids, like all the things. I'm not going to go into all the traditions. In fact, I've done a video on wedding traditions, which I will link here for you. I think it's here, could be here, I never know. And the biggest thing that I'm going to tell you, the biggest difference is that you won't, as a same-sex couple, whether it's groom and groom, bride and bride, you're just not going to want to follow the traditions. And that's kind of the main thing. Now, if you want to follow the traditions, then you absolutely can do, but you're just going to tweak them to suit you. But in terms of actually planning your wedding, there shouldn't be any huge differences. So when I saw somebody writing in my Facebook group saying that they were really struggling because it felt like they didn't know how to plan a wedding for themselves and they were a gay couple. Now, that makes me feel really sad because it should technically be exactly the same. You shouldn't have issues with suppliers. You might, and you shouldn't have an issue with the ceremony. You might find that if you're filling out documentation forms, questionnaires for people, they may be a little bit stereotypical and they may have written down, for example, bride's name, groom's name. So they need to be a little bit more conscious of their paperwork and their documentation when they are, just in general, to be perfectly honest with you. I think on our forms now we have contact name 1 and alternative contact name, so that we just know the couple's name. Now, obviously, as I said, traditions, you know, they're very old school. And we actually work with a load of couples now, whether they're same sex or not, that throw the traditions out the blooming window. I'm totally here for that. We've got couples not cutting cakes because they don't like what it symbolises. We've got couples where both, okay, same sex, not the same sex, but where we have the bride and the groom doing an entrance down the aisle. We have couples that don't want to be given away. We have couples, there's just, honestly, couples just make up their own rules, and I love that. I absolutely love it. So as a same-sex couple, when you're creating, designing and planning your wedding, I really feel like there shouldn't be any differences, and it should just be a case of creating a day that makes you happy and making your own traditions, which is exactly what I recommend to all my couples, whether they are same-sex or not. I would love to hear, though, if you are a same-sex couple and you're getting married and you're in the process of planning your wedding, then please do let me know in the comments box below if there are any struggles that you've had or any differences that you've noticed, because I would absolutely love to hear them so that we can then perhaps, you know, educate people and address them, or if I can help in any way, then I would absolutely love to. So please do write in the comments box below and give me the information if you have come up against anything. I'd also love to know what you guys are all doing that is different, like whether you're same sex or not, like what traditions are you making for yourself? So for example, when it comes to the ceremony, which obviously comes with so many traditions, which again, I'm so here for like throwing them out of the window, you know, Back in the day, you'd have bride's family on the left and groom's family on the right. I've got a couple next weekend actually that are getting married, and they're having guests sit anywhere, which is pretty typical nowadays. But the bride wants her family sat in the front 2 rows on the right and the groom in the front 2 rows on the left, which goes against all tradition. And they want to do that because when she stood up at the altar, she wants to be able to see her family. And I love that. I absolutely love that. I don't think I've had a single bride throw her bouquet this year. I have had so many people not do cake and not do a cake cutting either, or not make a big deal out of it. Honestly, guys, you do you. That is my motto over here, which is why I don't feel like there should be huge differences. It's just about creating a day to celebrate the both of you uniting, marrying, and just showcasing your love for one another. So I think the reality is, when you go into the process as a same-sex couple, you just need to be realistic in that you're probably not going to have the old-fashioned traditions. Make your own traditions, throw the rule book out. I'm repeating myself, but I feel really passionately about just creating a day that's really, really special to you and owning it, absolutely owning it. So guys, I hope you found this week's video helpful. If you do want to know more about wedding traditions, then I will link them up here for you. I also recently did a video on cake alternatives and the tradition behind wedding cake, which might interest you and might make you change your mind as to whether you want a wedding cake. So again, I will link that up here for you. And if you're not already, guys, then make sure you're on my mailing list. You can hop on that via the links below. You can also grab my budget split document and my wedding planning checklist below. I highly recommend you grab them. All our couples use them to help plan their wedding. It's really, really useful, and then you'll be added to our mailing list and you'll be getting all the weekly goodness from us to you for free to help with all your wedding planning. So guys, have a fantastic week. I will be back next week with some more wedding planning goodness. See you on the next one.